We often treat phobias like cute little personality quirks. Someone doesn't like spiders, or they get jittery on airplanes. But the reality of living with a phobia looks much different. Your chest tightens, your breathing spirals out of control, and your body reacts as if your life is in immediate catastrophic danger. Clinically, a specific phobia is an intense, persistent fear of a particular object or situation that is wildly out of proportion to any actual threat. The brain's alarm system misfires completely. To actually be diagnosed, this fear has to cross a strict clinical threshold. We are looking at a pattern that causes severe life impairment for a minimum of 6 months, and it almost always triggers a continuous cycle of avoidance. That means the true danger isn't the airplane, the needle, or the elevator. The real threat is the compounding cost of that avoidance, as the sufferer is forced to build higher and higher walls around their daily routine.
This diagram shows an adult population matrix. Right now, up to 12% of these adults experience a specific phobia. This is a massive, widespread issue happening quietly all around us, and the sacrifices are profound. People routinely miss their siblings' out-of-state weddings because they cannot board a flight. They turn down lucrative job promotions simply because the new office requires riding a glass elevator. The toll can even become a direct threat to physical health. Sufferers will delay or completely abandon life-saving medical care, putting off critical cancer screenings entirely because of a severe fear of needles. The fear acts as an invisible boundary. Year by year, it systematically shrinks a person's world and strips away their freedom to make basic life choices. But the brain is highly adaptable. The exact same neural pathways that learned this paralyzing response can actively unlearn it. The primary clinical mechanism used to stop this shrinking life is called graded exposure therapy. This graph charts exactly how the process works. You start with tiny, manageable interactions with the fear at the bottom of an exposure staircase. As you take that very first step, you can see a massive spike in the anxiety line. But as you gradually move up the steps in a controlled way, the brain's fear response is physically forced to recalibrate. The anxiety line drops and flattens out near zero, even at the highest levels of exposure. Confronting the trigger in a safe, structured environment does the exact opposite of what the avoidance loop does. It teaches the nervous system that it is safe, which is the only way to actually break the cycle. When dealing with a deep-seated fear, it is easy to assume that fixing it will require years of intense, exhausting psychotherapy. The clinical data tells a surprisingly different story. A fear that has severely impaired someone for months or even decades can often be dismantled in a remarkably short period of time. Because graded exposure therapy is highly targeted to a specific trigger, the treatment often works within just a few sessions. Specific phobias are highly treatable. If you address them with the correct clinical mechanism, you do not need to spend a lifetime managing the symptoms. The years of life, experiences, and opportunities lost to a phobia are especially tragic simply because the cure is so unexpectedly fast and effective. If the cure is this fast and effective, we have to ask what stops people from getting it. Often, it comes down to logistical and geographical friction. Coping and Healing Counseling, or CHC, is a therapy practice designed specifically to remove all of that friction between the patient and the cure. Take a look at this geographic map of Georgia. CHC operates a 100% telehealth, HIPAA-compliant practice that reaches across the entire state. All 159 individual counties are fully covered. Operating purely through a telehealth model eliminates the geographic barriers and the physical anxiety of traveling to a clinic. A patient can begin the process of facing their fears from the absolute safety of their own home. The final major hurdle keeping people locked in avoidance is the fear of high financial costs. This breakdown chart shows CHC's highly accessible financial structures. Medicaid patients have a $0 copay. For those with major insurances like Aetna, Cigna, Blue Cross Blue Shield, United Healthcare, and Humana, sessions range from just $10 to $40. And you are matched with true professionals. CHC employs a diverse, culturally competent team of over 15 licensed therapists, including clinical social workers, professional counselors, and marriage and family therapists. You do not have to let a specific phobia run your life or dictate your choices any longer.
Tonight is a great time to start expanding your world again. Reach out at chctherapy.com or call them directly at 404-832-0102.